You've mentioned a lot of things here with how did you say it? Mind, body, spirit here.
Mhm.
So we're humans. And sometimes it takes us a while to actually dig down and make changes. When it comes to either treating or preventing burnout, what would be like the first step, like the first simple step someone can take who right now probably is heading down that path of burnout?
Um, so each of us are different, and each of us may know what to do, but not want to do it. So in talking with someone, I will always share what I think are the um, five kind of treatment steps to start with, and
Okay.
see which one resonates, which one they're more likely to want to start with, because we each have preferences, and you might as well start where it feels a little easier. So those things the five things I promote are self-care. Um,
Can I stop you there for a second?
yeah.
Okay, first, just so our audience knows, Laura is a certified wellness coach. So, and on top of it, she is an RN and she is a burnout expert. So she's coming with experience to give us this. Okay, you say self-care. Self-care is so huge. Like, can you break that down?
Well, I go back to the body, mind, and spirit.
Okay.
And if I talk about it like that, your body needs hygiene, sleep, movement, nutritious food. Your brain needs the mental stimulation, and in physicians, they got plenty of that. It's the mental relaxation. Talk about it is not relaxation. Um, like it's not a relaxation exercise to lie on the couch with the beer in one hand and the remote in the other. That is not relaxation. That's escaping. That serves a purpose sometimes, but that is not truly resetting your nervous system. And we talk about hobbies and sense of joy. Most people know what they really need within there. Most people can self identify that. Whether they want to act upon it is a different story. But if I lay it out, they can tell me what they most need. And what you most need on Monday may not be what you most need on Friday.
Which
It
that
fluctuates.
is intriguing, but makes sense because by Friday, you have used so much energy and so much
Hmm.
brain power. Whereas Monday, depending upon how you spent your weekend, Monday, you're coming in a different place. You have more energy, you have more brain power. So I want to scoop back to you had mentioned, not to be on this, not to consider relaxation on the couch watching TV with a beer. What does relax the mind and body?
Actually, being very present, being mindful, um, going for a walk in nature can. We've all got different preferences, spending time with friends, doing something where your brain is engaged. So, a hobby, because you have to focus on that and you can get kind of lost doing it. And then you reset when your brain is all focused on that one thing. A relaxation exercise, meditation can, is spacing out with the beer and the remote, watching TV can be a great segue into a more productive part of the evening. So I'm not saying don't ever do it. That is not a solution, though. But
Okay.
things where you're actively engaged in what you're doing are much more restorative to your body and mind and nervous system.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for expanding on that topic there. Okay. So
Sure,
you
because I'll rush all around and rein me
so
in.
so that was step number 1. So what's the next one?
Number two is actually, and these are in no particular order. Number two is compassion and self compassion. And this is super hard for most people. It is easier for most people to practice compassion for others before they can practice it for themselves. But at some point, we need to get around to doing self compassion. And that is basically treating ourselves as we would a friend. The things we tell ourselves, like, you're so dumb, you're a klutz, you'll never get that job, you'll never meet the right spouse, you're unlovable, you're this, you're that, you're too fat, you're too thin. We would never say that stuff to a friend. but we
No.
freely say it to ourselves, and that just isn't healthy. So self-compassion would be treating yourself with gentleness and kindness, acknowledging this is hard. I'm doing the best I can. What do I need right now? Maybe I need a nap. Maybe I need nutritious food. Maybe I need a break and just to step outside and be in nature for 5 minutes. Maybe I need to dance to my favorite song. So self-compassion is hard, but it changes so much. And it's a slow process working on that. And there are great resources for it. But that would be number 2.
That one I can definitely identify with. I mean, we had Jim, Laura and I meet every Monday. We do an accountability meeting every Monday. And yesterday it was me being aware of, I was not really down on myself, but I was not giving myself awareness for everything that has happened over the last 5 years. Because I was saying about, I still didn't finish this. I still didn't finish this. And Laura said, well, wait a second, realize what you have been through and the last, 4 years alone, the multiple surgeries, the 2 diagnoses, so it was, all the treatment that came with it. And when I thought about that, and what's crazy is today, a photo came up in my Facebook memories, and I was like, oh my goodness. And it was for a year ago, this time in 2018. And I thought, I was a year out of 15 months of chemo. I had finished, I was 9 months from a tumor being removed on my parotid gland. And in 6 months, I would be diagnosed a second time. We said, oh my goodness. So I sent her a text message and I'm like, oh my goodness, when I look at this picture and I think about it, it just reminds me of our conversation yesterday. And that is something that I will be more aware of, is that self-compassion, that I have not been, that type A personality that is, go, 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 go. I will admit I'm an outcome junkie. So being aware of that self-compassion, Laura has been the one who is really, keeps reminding me of it.
Slow down. Your perfectionism and type A personalities do probably run a higher risk of burnout just because their nature, plunging fully into things and not slowing to take care of their body.
I'm not a perfectionist. I will jump in and do something, but I am definitely, that outcome junkie. So, yes. Okay, so that's step 2. So, and I have to say, Jim also has a very strong work ethic. I will get emails from him, 1 o'clock in the mornings.
I would have to say, Jim, when are you sleeping? You don't have to answer this live.
No, I do admit that sometimes I need to shut the brain down. Like last night, I think it was 3 a.m. I popped up and sent out an email because it came up in my mind while I was sleeping. It's just something that I deal with all the time.
So another option could be a notepad at the side of the bed. You never get out of bed. You never turn on a device. You just hold pen and paper, make a note so you remember it.
Yeah, but I'd have to duplicate the action again. So I always come up with excuses. I know what you're saying, but I always come up with excuses. Why do it twice when I could do it once? But I think, now that I'm getting a little elderly here, it's starting to impact me more than when I was in my 20s and 30s. So
yeah, we do not bounce back the same as we used to.
Yeah, definitely not.
Longer recovery time.
There's all that, the blue screen, how the blue screen actually then prolongs us getting back to sleep again.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually getting out of the bed can prolong it. Yeah, letting your mind be active, because you're wondering, is email complete? It's not just making a note to yourself. It's actually typing a coherent email, proofreading it, all the steps with it.
You lay back down and you're trying to re-engage back into the good sleep, and you've already interrupted it. So,
yeah. Okay, so that was 2.
Number 3 is having a sense of joy. outside of work. And watching residents, the physicians in training, they don't have much time to themselves, and they don't have time for hobbies. A lot of us don't make time for our hobbies anymore. So ask yourself, what brings me joy? And am I doing it on a semi-regular basis? So having a source of joy outside of work would be number 3. Number 4 could be practicing mindfulness. And that, we can't be mindful 24/7. We wouldn't get much done. But little periods during the day, just pause for a moment or two. Like right now, we're all sitting in a chair. Just pause and listen. Use as many senses as you can. So listen to the sounds in your room. Feel the chair under you. Maybe touch the fabric of your pants. You feel the floor under your feet. Is there a breeze, a temperature, a fragrance in the room? Just tune in and be very present to where you are. Brushing your teeth is a great one to practice mindfulness with. You could taste the toothpaste, feel the foam, see it go down the sink, hear the water, see the water, feel the water. There's a lot going on if you tune in, but so many times we multitask and plan the day and are half getting dressed while we're brushing our teeth and opening the blinds and making the bed. Just pause and do that one thing as a solo activity. It gives closure to the brain, as well as just you're doing the one thing and your nervous system can kind of slow down. But our brain loves closure.
Okay, that's what I wanted to. Could you expand on that? What do you mean our brain loves closure? Our brain gets closure.
So if we're multitasking, like I might be, say, I'm cooking dinner, watching the kids do homework, trying to send an email, listen to a podcast. The homework might be done, but I'm still not done with all the other things. So I just kind of keep moving along, and then I pick up something else I'm doing at the same time. I never really have the sense of, oh, that is done. Like vacuuming or ironing is so easy to multitask while you're doing it. But if you pay attention, or mowing the grass, you can see, when you started, and you can see exactly when you're done. File is shut, filed away. Nobody has to think about that anymore because you can tell you're done. Whereas if you're doing a lot of different things at once, did I finish that? I've got to remember to go back. I've got one more step in that, but I'm doing this, and then I'm going to start this. And oh, now I can't remember, what did I do back there? It's like if you had a million files open on your desk. You're not really sure what's going on. But if you can close each one, you can instantly see. Your brain loves to know that something's finished. So if you finish one thing, and brushing your teeth is not the most consequential thing you're going to do today, but it can be a source of closure. It can be a mindfulness activity. It can be a beautiful thing. Challenge you to brush your teeth now without thinking about that.
Or without listening to a podcast.
Yeah. And we do that. But we don't have to always do that, is the choice we could make.
And that's what a choice. It's up to us to make the choice to make changes.
Yeah. And then the last one is check your mindset. There's so much junk going on in our heads. We are so focused on the negative. Just keep a check on the self-talk. Are you looking for good, or are you looking for bad? Because your brain also wants to make you right. So if you're looking for the world as a scary, fearful, bad place, evil things happen out there, your brain's going to notice those things. Whereas if you're looking for good or beauty or joy, your brain is going to want to find that because it wants to make you be right. So shift what you're looking at. You can look at everything that went wrong, or you can look at what went right. And again, it's a choice that we can make. But the whole mindset thing is another one. So you're going to work, you're feeling burned out. Overall, you feel like the day was a failure. Can you zoom into one small thing that you felt good about? Can you zoom into one person-to-person interaction and have made eye contact, or have tried to help them, or made the world a slightly better place for someone kind of shrink it down and look for the good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say those are the 5 things I start with.
Okay, which makes sense. And I wanted to spin off of the last one, look for the good. Whenever I work with any of my clients, when we start a meeting, the first thing we do is we go around the room and state, what is one good thing? What's your good news? What happened last week that was good news? And though I want them to say something professionally because I'm there on a professional basis, I do say, if you want to say something that was good that happened personally, go ahead and say it, because if it makes you feel good, it's going to make you